Okay, good morning, guys. Now I'm going to show you the next piece of our reading. So we have something called a 3-part drill in our class that we do, and unfortunately, we're only going to be able to do part 1 and 3. And so with Jacob, he's going to be my little model today, and I'm going to have him just do a couple just to show you how to do it. And then once we finish, I'll dismiss him, and I'm going to keep the board going for you guys so you guys can show this to your student or your child. So the first thing that we're going to do with 3-part drill is we're going to just start with some letter cards. So you can make these at home. This is literally just the letters of the alphabet. We write them in lowercase, and when they get a little bit more advanced, I add the uppercase to the top. So the first thing Jacob's going to do is he's just going to look at the card, and he's going to tell me the sounds very quickly. So all of my kids except for Snake Group need to be telling me just the sound. So Jacob's going to go ahead, and we're going to do this quickly with him. Go ahead, Jakes. Oh, just this, baby. Thank you.
O, J, K, W, Y, Z.
Okay, and so I'm going to stop him there. So for kiddos who are still having a hard time identifying the letters, so if any of my kids in Snake Group, I'll post who you are. I need you to make sure that you're saying, can you go let the doggy out, please? I need you to make sure that those kiddos are saying the letter and the sound. So they would say, Z says Z, R says and make sure that the kiddo's not saying R. Okay, R doesn't say R. We're adding extra sounds on there when we add that to it. They need to keep it. We say clip it. Keep it short. Clip that sound. Okay. F says. S says. Okay, so he would be saying these, again, if your kiddo's more advanced, they don't need to say the letter name. If they're still having a hard time identifying letters, they should say both the letter name and the sound that it makes. So that's part 1 of the drill. Again, you can make your own cards for that, or I can post a video and I can have all the cards up there for you, so all you have to do is play that video with your kiddo. It's kind of nice though, because when your kiddo makes mistakes, I'm going to be not able to cue them. So if you're doing it with them, you'll be able to cue them if you don't watch the video and you make your own cards. So again, we don't have part 2 here at our house, and you probably don't have part 2 either. It's where we use a sand board to write the letters, and we actually do it backwards. So if you have something at home that you can do that's kinesthetic, where the kiddo can write in it, some people like to put some shaving cream or salt in a pan, and they can write the letter inside of their tray. So, but you do it backwards. So you would say just the sound. So you would say, for example, you could turn the cards this way so they can't see them, and you could say S. And then the kiddo in the sand would write S says S. They write the letter lowercase and they underline it when they say the sound. So that's that kinesthetic piece of writing those letters appropriately. So it's actually a really important part of the drill. It really helps them with memory recall when they're writing letters. So if you have a way to do that at home, that would be awesome. I didn't bring our sand home because Jacob knows how to write his letters, but there are some kids who still need that daily practice. And then the last part of the drill is called our blending board, and the kids love the blending board. So this is now where your kiddos are actually using skills that we've learned in class to be able to build them into words. And we keep it in this 3-tier process. So beginning sound, middle sound, ending sound. So I'm going to have Jacob do a couple of here to show you how to do it. And again, you can make your own cards for this, or I can post some videos to, again, build some words for you to get you started. But it's really going to be important that you're there helping them with their errors or the mistakes that they make. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to tap each of the letters, starting with the beginning, and then the middle, and then the end. And Jacob's going to say the sounds as I tap them. And then at the end, I'm going to swipe my hand across the top, and he's going to put them all together. Your kiddo can also be using their thumb. Hang on, bud. They can use their thumb. I'm going to have you show them how you do this too with your thumb. So beginning sound, middle sound, ending sound. So if they're struggling, really make sure they say, get that thumb ready so they can hear that first, middle, and last sound. All right, buddy? You ready? Okay, look right here. Okay, so you could see how he was saying the S on both of those. So if he corrects it himself, I don't need to do anything. If he got it wrong, I would say, try that again. What does SH say? So we're going to do it again. Ready, Jakes?
Sauce.
Good. So we just want him to blend that together. Now I'm going to change something on the border. I have all my cards stacked up here. So now all I have to do is change one part of the word. So I'm going to take that down. Okay.
Quash.
Perfect. Okay, that's what we want to hear it sound like.
Kosh.
Good. Jacob, are these words rhyming words? Yeah, how do you know?
Because they sound like the first one. They all sound like oh.
So is the first sound changing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's happening to the end of the word?
It's still. It's the same.
Good. So when the end of the word stays the same, we're trying to train them that that's a rhyming word. If the end of the word changes, it's not rhyming anymore. You can also ask them, are these real words or are they silly words? Thumb up if it's a real word, thumb down if it's silly. So there's all kinds of things you can do here. So he's going to do this one for us.
Oh, losh.
Good.
Osh. Vosh.
Does losh, vosh rhyme?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the end stays the
Say.
Good. So that's how we're prepping and we're reminding them. Rhyming is really tricky for kids. So if you can go over that daily with your kiddo, that would be great. Okay, and then I can also change the ending parts of the words. Okay. So now we're going to do some ending changes here.
Voth.
Good. And again, if you don't see their thumb moving, you can tell them, get your thumb ready if they're having a hard time. If he's not needing to use his thumb, that's fine too. Oh, hang on. We got two here. Hang on. I'm going to change this one too. You can change both sounds if you want. You can change all three. Whatever you want to do as you're doing blending board. Ready?
Jaw.
Good. Do you think this is a real word or a silly word?
Silly.
Okay, and that's okay. If they don't know what that word means, you can just say, actually, this is a real word. A jock is an athletic person. Somebody who's really good at sports. So you can tell them what that word means too. It's a great way to develop some vocabulary.
I didn't.
Okay. If you ever come up with a word on your board that's not appropriate, we don't say it. Okay, so maybe you're saying a word that's not spelled correctly, but when they sound it out, it sounds like a real word. That's fine too. Okay, ready?
Walk.
Okay, is walk a real word or a silly word?
Silly.
Walk. It's a silly word?
Walk.
What does walk mean?
Like you're walking.
Yeah, so you can see you can cue that way. I'm trying not to just tell him the answer. Okay, and you can also going to go through and you can change the middle sounds on this. Go ahead, Jakes.
Whack.
Good. Is that a real word or a silly word?
Real.
Real. Good.
Like,
Yeah, so you can ask them to put it in a sentence for you, use an example. So for most of our kids in our class, we're going to just be using the basic ABCs and then maybe some of our digraphs as well. So I'm going to go through those digraphs with you so you guys have them when you make your own cards. Some kids are even more advanced. They are using blends. So blend cards are words that have two consonants coming together to blend a sound. So these are called our L blends. Goal, full, okay, bowl. Okay, you're good, buddy. You can go ahead and go. Yeah. Thank you, bud. And then we've got some other kids who are actually using vowel teams right now. They're moving on to those first grade phonics. So this is just how you do blending board. Again, if you can make your own cards, that's great. I will post another video on here in just a second with just the cards for different levels. So if you can't make your own cards, you have that as an option, but that's going to take me a second because I have to do 3 separate videos for our 3 differentiated reading groups. Okay, so I hope this helps you guys, and you guys can this is something you can do every day. You don't have to do every single letter of the alphabet. We just set a timer. We normally do it for like 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how your kiddo is doing with it. If your kiddo is struggling and they're not hearing the sounds appropriately in the words, okay, really stop them and slow down. Sometimes you have to, if your kiddo is struggling, you can just move to 2-letter words to start. So we always would do our vowel first and our consonants last. So for example, if your kiddo's having a hard time, you could do this, ought, ought. Okay, and then you could add on that first sound. All right, let's try it with all 3. Ol, ought, lot. Okay, so depending on where they're at, if they're struggling with CVC words, that means a consonant, vowel, consonant word. You can take off that beginning sound and just do the middle and the ending sound. Hey, you don't have to have a board to do it. You can lay these flat on the table too. The blending board just helps when I'm in the classroom and I have all my kiddos around me. Okay, so again, any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, thanks guys.